Welcome to Community Planning Conversations. This program and several of the following programs will have guests who are here in our community and some actually in our country for the second annual Passive House Conference that's being held in Urbana, Illinois at the Civic Center. This morning I have two guests. One is Stephan, who is in Minnesota, and Manfred. And Manfred, please say your last name. Brausem. I told Manfred I've never learned to roll my R's. And Manfred is from Germany and arrived in our country a week ago and drove from New York in a bit of a circuitous scenic route to join us here in Urbana. Stephan is very involved with passive house design at a university in Minnesota, and we'll talk about that. And Manfred will be able to share with us a great deal of information on the passive house movement, not only in Germany, but I'm assuming, and I didn't check with Manfred, but in other parts of Europe. So thank you, both of you, for taking the time before the conference starts this morning. I'd like to start with Stephan. If you would talk to us a bit about the passive, actually is it the first passive house construction that occurred in the United States at Brausem, Minnesota?
No, actually it's not. It's the first certified passive house in the United States. It's called the Biohouse, and it's in Waldsee. That is the German village of the Concordia language villages camp. It's an immersion language program in Minnesota by Bemidji, which is about 4 hours northwest of Minneapolis, St. Paul. And the first one was actually built here in Urbana by Kathleen Klingenberg.
And just to insert, Katrine is the person who has arranged the conferences here.
Right. We jointly did that. We started the dialogue actually 2 years ago at Ludwigshafen at the German Passive House Conference. Manfred was there too.
Okay.
And we kind of had a small delegation from the United States there, probably a handful, 4 or 5 people, and we thought we should have a North American Passive House Conference. And so the first one was held last year in Bemidji at the Biohouse. There were like 15 or 16 people attending. And now this year we're in Urbana and there are 80 people attending, so there's a wave coming.
There is a huge wave coming. I heard one word that I'd like to ask you to explain a little bit more for our viewers, and you said the first certified passive house. That seems to be a significant term. What do you mean by certified?
Well, maybe I should go a step back and then maybe Manfred can kind of jump in.
All right.
The passive house standard is an energy standard for buildings.
Okay.
And it's probably one of the richest energy standards for buildings in the world. It comes out of Germany. It was developed by Professor Wolfgang Feist in Dortmund. I hope I got that all right, Manfred. Darmstadt, sorry.
Darmstadt, okay.
Maybe you should kind of explain the passive house standard over here.
Well, yes, that means that this house doesn't need any heating to stay in winter warm and to stay cool in summertime, in hot summer times. It is a kind of regulating system, right? And it means that we don't have big machines and engineering inside the house as small as possible. So that means as passive as possible to cut down energy costs and installation costs. That means in the end this house is about 10 watt per square meter. That is about 1 watt per square feet. What you need for heating in cold winter. So it is nearly nothing.
So what Manfred means is that even here in Urbana, you probably can heat your building with a candle on in winter time.
I want wanted to capture that because you have an example to talk about that's in very cold climates.
Yes, we're
And you can talk about examples that are fairly cold climates.
Quite cold sometimes, yes.
And these work.
Yeah, it's worked. It works. We did build in Germany in the last 10, 12 years more than 6,000 of those houses. I was one of the first who did began with passive house buildings more than 12 years ago, and they were as they were planned, as they were designed. There's no question, you know.
Well, okay, that opens up the immediate question. I didn't realize there were that many, so that it was good for me to learn. So this movement in Europe is going much faster than it is in the United States. Talk about the differences between our cultures that we're not recognizing this advantage here in the United States.
Yeah, maybe Stephan can say something.
well, those are just, I always get asked cultural differences. I'm born Swiss and then married and living over here since the early 80s, so I have a sense of your question. I'm tempted to the first answer to that question I always think is which is different. I mean, the countries are different, life is different, people see the world slightly different, so things don't happen in the same place, same time. I think what comes about, don't you think, is energy is a global commodity, and we're kind of knowing where now the oil prices are going. So I kind of will start to suffer the same economic consequences. And if you add in now slowly global warming or other environmental issues which are coming a surface and we need to look at, we need to think, I think we need to look around the world to kind of see if other places people have tackled these things so we don't have to go through reinventing things.
Exactly.
And so to me, the passive house standard is a really interesting standard to be looked at for practical purposes. It's like in the car industry with the Toyota Prius. It is a building standard which, instead of 60 miles like the Prius, probably is more like 150 miles a gallon as a building. So this is really leading edge building technology and thinking.
And a new standard.
And I think it's really interesting, and I think not only in the US, but I think in the world we should start thinking together on these issues and learn from each other.
Well, now I'd like to turn to Manfred now that you say that 6,000.
Yeah.
In this time period, can you talk about what you all have learned in the way of constructing these? Because I'm assuming that there's been a bit of a learning curve and that you keep improving.
Yeah.
And you keep improving.
First we were pioneers.
Yes,
Yeah, really.
completely pioneers.
Completely. We didn't know how we could solve some construction problems when we began with the first houses. But we could solve all those problems step by step. And within a few years, we were able to build houses, passive houses, for the same amount of money than conventional houses we do now. We build now for the same price, I wanted to say, and there's no difference between conventional houses concerning the price, but they just need less than 10% of energy in a conventional house. So the difference is like this.
It's amazing.
And that comes very good with the increasing cost of oil and electricity, which are going up very fast the last few times.
And the last day is the price of gas just went up again as I was driving here. The other that I'd like to capture in your conversation or cross conversation between the two of you is I went on a solar house tour several weeks ago. One of the things that struck me is solar panels up on the roof, which is a very appropriate way of capturing and generating electricity. But then there's a lot of maintenance and care for that system, and if I need to re-roof, those panels have to come off. And one of the things that I think I'm hearing is minimizing how much mechanicals you have in your building, so that minimizes a lot of the other care as the years go on. Do I understand correctly?
Yeah, we try to minimize the installation as much as possible. So the solar system, the thermal solar system, has to be installed once, and then it works for 20-25 years without any service. And that is very efficient, and it makes warm water for your everyday shower. And in Germany you can do more than about 60% of the warm water just by the sun in Germany. Here in the US, here in this area of Mana, you can do about 80% per year just by the sun. That means you just have to buy energy for your everyday warm water for the last 20%. 80% are done by the sun, and the sun doesn't send the bill.
The thing that on what I consider now a very fortunate trip to Germany, and I was in Deutschland.
Yeah.
And up in the northern part where you have not a lot of sun.
No.
And here were what we term low-income housing. And all of the roofs had solar panels on them. And I was told that that is part of your laws in Germany. That's not something we have come to and are thinking in the United States.
Maybe that I'm following.
I'm trying to get this idea out. I have a plan here.
Too fast, sorry, I'm always too fast.
I'd say we had it in the late 70s, wouldn't you agree? We had great programs in the late 70s, they all kind of disappeared.
They did.
The Germans, most aggressively in Europe, we instated them about 10 years ago now. I mean, you guys to Germany, it's mind-boggling to see all these alternative energy sources everywhere.
I was extremely impressed. And did I get the information correct, so I'm not stating things that all flat roofs are mandated to be earth roofs in Germany? Is that?
Yeah, well.
Because I saw a lot of those also.
Yeah. It's an additional ecological idea to build an earth roof. But it hasn't, it is not necessary to build a passive house.
No, I'm not trying to tie the two together. I'm just trying to say that again, there's much more progressiveness in your policies than we have come to here in the United States at this point in time.
I think the point to make in that case is that in Europe over the past 10 years, the public has said that people need to take care of their own causes. So meaning being responsible, and in the construction industry, stormwater management, because we build a very small lots, has become a major issue. So a lot of communities basically done away with stormwater systems and just said, you take care of it by yourself on your own lot.
So a lot of bioswales.
So, that your green roofs are a reaction not to as being mandated as green roofs. But the mandate is really take care of stormwater on your own site. Other solutions for that you see is that we use rainwater, like in the good old days, in a cistern, and then use it for flushing toilets and stuff like that. So it's really, the technology is not, it's not the tail wagging the dog here. The driving force is the public saying, well, let's take care of your problem on your own terms. And now we, as architects or engineers, are then forced to be creative and come up with solutions to solve those issues. And I think that's the key thing.
And this leads me to get a chance to share with our viewing audience your architectural background and yours too, so our viewers can appreciate your understanding of all of these issues.
Yes, I think you probably, I would probably categorize the gathering here of enthusiasts in architecture. We're all idealists, probably by heart, by driving force. So that idealism leads us to do trailblazing and pioneering. It's probably also where we as people find fun in life. So we're not all like us, but we like to get together as us and enjoy each other. And I think we also always have a little that urge to communicate. So I've been, because we all have an opinion. And I have been urged by a good friend of mine to start communicating, so I have. So if anybody is interested in that, I started a blog, haven't written lately in it, but it's called theperfectbuilding.com. And a lot of the information we're talking today about, or is talking about, can be, I just put there links to sources I value as important sources of challenges we face as architects and as human beings. So therefore, I don't know, that's what I did and tried to do it. If people go there and read, I'm astonished how many people from wherever in the world look at that stuff. But anyway, I think that's what the is out there for.
That's good. And Manfred, you also have an architecture background, is that
Yes, yes.
And you have a website.
I have a website, yes, it is passive-house.de.
And we will add that to the bottom of the screening, and so our viewers will be able to see those URLs and be able to go back to them and check on the information that you put up for everybody to read about this. Now I want to turn to your own personal lives. Do you live in a passive house?
No, I don't. I actually live in a church. So the connection here is it's a religious experience, and I'm close to that one. Actually, I'm planning on building one with my second oldest son. He's in his early 20s and just finishing his education in general contracting. So we're kind of starting to think about putting a prototype up and building it and start selling it. Because as we've been talking, I think, that there's a lot of technology in passive houses. There's a lot of know-how in there. And it's like the Prius. It's kind of difficult to kind of explain that to people and get a new movement going. So we kind of just thought, well, maybe just offering the complete package in a small form. Catherine does similar thing for low-income housing. I think she does a great job doing that. Yeah. I think we just need everywhere to put pebbles in the water and create a wave. And so to our best ability, and so that's what we're trying to do. So short answer, I hope within a year, if you call me again, I'd be living in it.
The invitation is absolutely open now. Do you live in a passive house?
No, I'm sorry, but it's a low energy house.
Yeah,
because it is an old house, and I buy it 93 in the south part of Cologne. And I renewed the whole house in 93, but then I installed all those items and technical things we need for a passive house. But at that time we didn't have such a high technology to reach a passive house. But it is a quite low energy house.
And then this is a wonderful lead-in to one of the sessions here at the conference that is retrofitting a already built house as a passive house. The conference is just about to start. We'll be back again with conversations with some of the other speakers. So thank you for tuning in right now. And Stephan and Manfred, thank you, so much for taking the time to have this conversation with me this morning.
Thank you.
Okay.